take us back to the beginning. How did you discover your passion for acting?
Yeah, it was kind of roundabout. It wasn't like you hear a lot of stories that are like, I've been doing it since I was a kid and like this has always been it. That wasn't really it. I started streaming on Twitch when I was a teenager, and I was really awkward, like really, really uncomfortable and like uptight on camera. So I was like, okay, well maybe if I want to do this, maybe I should take an acting class and just learn how to be on camera and like learn how to be comfortable. And that was it. I took like one 6 week class and never looked back.
Oh, that's awesome. When you look at your career as a whole, who or what's had the biggest influence, either personally or professionally?
Honestly, it was that acting coach. Her name's Catherine Hart, and I got so lucky with her. She's one of those coaches that that teaches like a mentor. Like it wasn't even a question. If we needed to stay after class, she would talk to us till midnight, trying to figure something out, whether it's a personal thing that's going on in our lives or a career thing. Like she was instrumental in me becoming who I am now. I wouldn't be here without her.
In addition to being an actor, you're also a musician. What have you learned from music that you've been able to apply to your acting career and vice versa?
Honestly, just the feel, like learning how to stop thinking about it and just feel it. If it feels right, or if I'm feeling like pulled in a certain direction, to just try it. And if it might be terrible, but that's okay. That's how you create something. So like that, music taught me that really early. And then getting to come into a field like acting where it's so collaborative and it's so creative, you're pulling something out of nothing. And it's been really helpful to learn how to develop that feel for it.
And you're currently one of the stars of Cruel Summer. Can you tell us about the series, your character, and what drew you to this project?
Yeah, honestly, when I read it was in the 90s, I was like, yes, yes. Like I love it. The grunge, the punk rock, the like that was so cool. But then like getting to play Ben was luck. Like I got so lucky with it, and I I got to play this character that's rich and deep and has a lot of empathy, and it's something that you don't always get to see in the show that's so dark and so conflict. Like there's constant conflict. You never really know who to trust. You don't know who's telling the truth. But Ben can kind of be a Ben and Vince honestly get to be like this beacon of just like it's not all bad. There's some good things that happen to people even in the midst of some of the worst.
You did a lot of research in order to bring as much authenticity to this character as possible. Can you tell us a little bit about your preparation for this role? And were there any nerves heading into this project?
So I was terrified. Are you kidding me? I I knew that I was approaching a role that was very close to a lot of people's hearts. A lot of people lived this. A lot of people remember what that was like. And the last thing I wanted to do was to get up there and to do a caricature or to do something that, somebody who did live through that, being part of the LGBTQ plus community in the early 90s. I wanted them to be able to see themselves in that character and to feel like they're being shown in an accurate way. So like the most important thing to me was paying respect to them and to that, and talk like not just researching on paper, which I've eaten up everything GLAD has on their website and just tried to absorb as much as I can, but also talking to people that I know lived through that and just like hearing what their experience was and being open to learning and just trying to understand what that was like.
Great answer. And, throughout the series, we get to see how each character changes throughout the years. Which version of Ben was your favorite to play, and which was the most challenging?
Honestly, 95. The Ben's 95 years, like that 94 to 95 transition. I love that because it shows like stages of life. It shows what it is to be a teenager and how different, it can be from one year to the next. Um, and like that was that was probably one of the more challenging years as well, because as we go on and as the show starts to come to a close, it Ben will have some things that he has to deal with and to struggle through in a way. So getting in touch with that and trying to also make sure that I'm representing those struggles and those hardships in a respectful way.
Yeah, with social media now, you and the rest of the cast are able to watch the show through the eyes of the viewers, and they've come up with some really fun and crazy fan theories. What's that experience been like for you to get to share the show now with them and kind of to do the live tweeting?
That's what it's all for. Like I don't like I don't see any other reason to do this job. If it's about making something that connects with people and that touches people and hopefully can shift the hearts and minds of people. And I'm not saying that that's what my performance did, but it's incredible to hear the feedback and listen to people just be like, watching this has made me feel seen and made me feel like it validates like what we went through, and that's all I could ever ask for, and it's been amazing. And
yeah.
Them like coming up with the theories, like I'm seeing stuff that I've never seen from all the other castmates and everything, so I'm right along with them trying to figure it out.
Fans have really taken to your character in particular. Do you have a favorite moment, either that's aired or that might be coming up, revolving around Ben?
Yeah, there's a really sweet moment with Ben and Vince coming up in the next several episodes that's really close to my heart. And of course the bar scene. I saw the bar scene for the first time when it aired, and I was in tears myself just because they did such a beautiful job of setting that up and creating this environment that shows just, even though things are hard on the outside, like they can all come to this place and just be who they are. And like that I love that.
And something surprising that I learned about you is that this is kind of like your biggest role to date. Has anything surprised you about the experience, and what's been the biggest takeaway?
Everything has surprised me. Yeah, I mean, it is like, this is my second interview ever. Like it was a learning curve with COVID and figuring all that out, but it was, I feel like I came out of this experience a whole new person. Like I learned how it is to collaborate with a team of writers and creators, and how to work with an ensemble cast that's so incredible at bringing all of their own individual perspectives to these characters and figuring out how we all fit in together. That was one of the biggest learning experiences for me.
And then we like to end all of our interviews with a pop culture speed round. Do you have a guilty pleasure TV show?
Oh, absolutely. Vampire Diaries. I think I've seen it 4 times all the way through.
What about a guilty pleasure movie?
Edward Scissorhands. Love it.
Favorite book?
The Name of the Wind, Patrick Rothfuss.
What about a favorite play or musical?
Hamilton. It's the only one I've seen, and it was art. But also, like, I really want to see Dear Evan Hansen because the soundtrack is heaven. But yeah, probably those two.
What about a band or artist that fans would be surprised to learn is on your playlist?
Uh, Born of Osiris. I used to listen to a lot of like metalcore and like really heavy music when I was a teenager, and some of that still kind of like bleeds in.
What about the first album you ever bought?
First album, I think it was Linkin Park's Hybrid Theory. I
So,
think that was the first one, in my little like portable CD player.
what about the first concert you ever attended?
Yeah, that was Avenged Sevenfold, 3 Days Grace, and Seven Dust. I think I was 12.
What about an album that changed your life and why?
Ooh, that's a good one. An album that changed my life. Honestly, one that I've thought is really cool that's come out lately. That's been like kind of a blend of two genres that I really like. Machine Gun Kelly put out a record called Tickets to My Downfall last year, and that, like, as I've come into like an adulthood, I've started listening to more like hip hop and like rap and stuff like that. But it also kind of like incorporates that Blink 182, like Sum 41 pop punk I listened to when I was a kid. So it perfectly blends together these two genres that I've always liked.
What about your dream role?
Anything fantasy. Like if I
Hmm.
could get on a show like The Witcher or something like that, like, oh, that'd be a dream.
What about who would play you in the story of your life?
Ooh, just because I'm obsessed with everything he does, Matt Damon.
Hmm. Why is that? And then final question for you. I know you're focused on the acting right now, but do you think in the future fans can expect you to release kind of any original music?
Might be some of that coming soon. We've been talking about it. Now that the show's kind of coming
Yeah.
to, the latter part of it. We've been talking about seeing like what we can do with finding a sound and kind of working on some stuff maybe.